Allow me to destroy some of your brain cells. It is good for the society. In a recent debate, Piers Morgan clowned Dave Rubin as the dumbest individual in the conservative movement. But I'm glad to announce I found a colleague of Dave Rubin. I am not a big fan of Myron Gaines, but in this discussion with Tim Pool, Myron Gaines is the most intelligent individual. He tries to educate Tim Pool, but Tim Pool seems not to grasp any idea. He is just that horrible. No one is going to salvage the situation. In this discussion, Tim Pool is one of those individuals who is saying that Donald Trump is the one who controls the Strait of Hormuz. It is the United States who are closing the Strait of Hormuz. I believe you really need to take much of your courage. Be just humble. Listen to this discussion before we have other arguments moving forward.
Trump is keeping it closed.
No, he's not. The Iranians are.
Trump sent an armada there before the war started, and they've been turning boats away.
Trump is the one keeping the Strait of Hormuz closed, and that's what Tim Pool believes. Yet, Marco Rubio, a government official of the United States, a cabinet secretary of state, came out clearly stating that the main objective, the United States objectives when it comes to Iran, they are all over. But he stated that the objective of the United States is to ensure the Strait of Hormuz is open to every ship, and it is back to where it was, where ships could pass through without being charged. Tim Pool is here out saying clearly he forgets that that's what Marco Rubio said before. How can you assist an individual such as this one? I believe that's why most individuals are not interested to follow this kind of a narrative which changes each and every day. Some of the individuals who observed earlier on that Donald Trump was in a mess left. The likes of Candace Owen, Tucker Carlson, all those individuals left the train long ago. Meghan Kelly. Individuals who are stuck with Donald Trump include Tim Pool, we have Ben Shapiro. Those are the ones who, and Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin. Those kinds of individuals are the ones who are stuck with Donald Trump. They want to sing with Donald Trump. And you may ask, why? Why are these individuals, the likes of Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, we have Ben Shapiro stuck with Donald Trump? The initial MAGA movement was out immediately to observe that Donald Trump is riding a red train. So when Tim Pool is here out in the public, it was not even an individual discussion. It's a podcast. It is going to be aired in the public. How can he sustain this kind of humiliation that the United States controls the Strait of Hormuz when the Americans themselves are complaining of the rising prices? In the next discussion is going to argue that oil prices are good for the Americans. America is exporting huge chunks of oil. Let's have that argument. Let's see that discussion. What is Tim Pool trying to say about the United States being one of the best country or beneficiary in terms of the Iran war? That they were so strategic in taking on Cuba and also, not Cuba, but Venezuela, and they are likely now going to take Cuba. We are going to see some argument, but I'm also going again to destroy some of your brain cells.
Yes.
We secured the largest oil-producing country in the world for ourselves before closing 20% of the world's oil infrastructure. It's not an accident. Trump is now exporting more oil to the Gulf. It's not a coincidence.
Okay.
You're acting like all of these moves made by the Trump administration that are in line with each other are accidents, and this Iran thing is an accident.
They're absolutely accidents.
So Trump slipped on a banana peel and did a perfect backflip and landed down the stairs.
What happened? The Venezuela operation gave him an enormous amount of hubris. Netanyahu sold him a dream that you can take Iran and you will be the first president to do it. You will build your legacy. He's really big on legacy building right now. He thought he'd be able to get it done in 96 hours. He didn't realize that Iran has a mosaic.
I apologize for taking you through that horrible experience. It's hard to watch, but that's Tim Pool. Tim Pool is saying that Donald Trump is exporting oil. But how many individuals in the United States who are going to be the beneficiaries of the oil which Donald Trump is exporting? 20% of the individuals who are invested in the stock market of the United States population. And where are the 80%? What are they benefiting by individuals, the United States government involving itself in a war with Iran? That should be the question. But if you are honest with yourself, you can say an individual who gives some arguments, which you can even have a discussion with, or you can argue with your friends in a dinner table, is Myron Gaines. It is true that Donald Trump was excited by how he was successful in Venezuela. He thought it was the same case which was going to happen in Iran. He thought that God had anointed him. He was on a mission to save the human race. But that is not exactly what is happening in Iran. Donald Trump is held into a corner. He can't find a place to hide. He can't breathe. He is just shouting. He has been in China. He went to beg Xi Jinping to convince Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz. There is no way which you are going to say the United States is responsible for closing the Strait of Hormuz. Why should they not go ahead and open the Strait of Hormuz? Because that is what the world needs now. Countries like Pakistan, India, we have France, Spain, have gone ahead and had a discussion with Iran, such that Iran can allow their ships to pass through. If Donald Trump was in charge of the Strait of Hormuz, he would have allowed those countries because in some way they are allies of the United States. Because Donald Trump has no capability of going ahead and opening the Strait of Hormuz. That's why he is offering the United States a blockade on top of a blockade. The Iranian government went ahead and closed the Strait of Hormuz. Donald Trump wanted to protect the Iranians. He wanted to shield Iranians from the outside enemies. So he went again and closed the Strait of Hormuz. And that's why you can see individuals like Tim Pool, you can't assist him. There is no way which you are going to assist him. He is convinced that the Strait of Hormuz is closed by Donald Trump. He is convinced that the moves in that it is like the United States is grasping for air. It wants to survive. But Tim Pool believes that's a strategy. That's a military tactic that the United States is pretending to grasp for air. It can't breathe. It is a strategy which they are using in order to defeat the Iranians. But nobody buys that kind of a narrative except Tim Pool and 80% of MAGA individuals, and also boomers who believe that the Islam or immigrants are the threat to the United States progress. When they don't realize that the United States progress is being discouraged, or the United States can't find resources to improve their living standards because they are fighting endless wars. Now they are spending billions of money in the Middle East, which they could have used to develop the United States. That's why you find when individuals like Candace Owen, Tucker Carlson move to countries like we have Russia, China, and they give a good feedback in terms of the progress of these countries. MAGA individuals start shouting, traitors, traitors, they are collaborating with Russia, they are agents, they are receiving money from Qatar, when they don't see that they are the main problem, in that they are advocating for foreign wars. Anyway, I apologize for destroying some of your brain cells. Just go ahead if you have found some value out of this video. What are your thoughts about Team Pool? How are we going to assist this individual at least to realize that the United States is not responsible for the closure of the Strait of Hormuz? Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Go ahead, subscribe, like, share. See you in my next one. Siku njema.